Dear audience, myself, Bettina Schneider, and my colleague, Trupti Zamba, we are researchers from the University of Applied Sciences and Arts, Northwestern Switzerland. In this presentation, we elaborate the results of our research entitled Escape Room Gamification Technique to Raise Cybersecurity Awareness in SMEs. SMEs are small and medium-sized enterprises with less than 250 people employed. They build the backbone of economies in Europe and especially in Switzerland. They ensure economic growth, innovation, job creation, and also social integration. And the SMEs are early adopters of technology. So it's not surprising that also SMEs are falling victim to cyber attacks. The majority of Swiss SMEs has already fallen victim to attacks, as some studies show. However, Swiss SMEs consider that it is a low risk for them to get out of business due to such an attack. Anyway, 33% of Swiss SMEs rate the continued function of their IT systems as very important. And lastly, we see that especially websites are hacked massively on a daily basis. In addition, it can be stated that cybersecurity incidents are, in the majority of the cases, due to insider negligence, ignorant, careless employees, contractors. So we see that the human is a very important element, and we want to focus on this human side of cybersecurity in research. SMEs are a particular target group because they are in a very challenging situation. Even though they are connected to the internet and they have the risk of cyber attacks, they have very stiff resource constraints, much more than the large corporations. So they face limited budgets in terms of technical measures, but also in terms of staff they can employ. So they really have to focus on their business priorities. And due to this limited budget, it's also that they quite often have only limited or no staff with dedicated cybersecurity knowledge employed. Nevertheless, they are constantly evolving technology to stay in the market. So humans remain still the weakest link in the cyber chain, but we also see them as the first line of defense and want to strengthen them. For this, we want to research on the educational approach of an escape room. Escape rooms are serious games or can be used as serious games. They are a series of puzzles or challenges that have to be solved in a given context, a theme, in an allotted time. They should be a fun way to learn, interactive, help on team building, and also encourage critical thinking. In this research that resulted from a master thesis, we elaborated the following statement. It is possible to create cybersecurity awareness training delivery method for SMEs using the escape room gamification technique. Two objectives were at the heart of this procedure that we followed. Firstly, we aim to develop an escape room prototype to raise cybersecurity awareness in SMEs. And secondly, we validated this prototype by doing some test executions of the game. As research methodology, we followed the Hevner design science approach. As you can see on the left, the design science draws its relevance from the environment, where we are situated here in the SME context with their problem, with their resource constraint and their threats of cyber attacks. On the right side, you can see that the procedure draws its rigor from the existing knowledge base. So it builds on existing foundations and also adds to this knowledge base. The same applies for existing experiences and expertises. In the middle, it can be seen that we wanted also to build here an artifact, the game, and in the design cycle, we also evaluated that by playing the game and getting some feedback from participants and experts. When designing the artifact, we were investigating more on the special situation of SMEs and also the existing learning approaches with their pros and cons. And we had the following design decisions for this specific target group. Firstly, we wanted to build a compelling theme, drawing really the attention of SMEs, so really fitting to their work life. Then the special thing is that the escape room we developed is portable, so this means we can bring all the gadgets and utilities to the SME office and play it there in a just regular office environment at a very low budget. We are able to cater small group sizes and customize also the game, and it has a very short playing time, just 40 minutes, which is still sufficient to be immersed in the environment, but leaves some time for additional briefing and debriefing, and still is a overall quite compelling time of just 1.5 hours in total to invest to raise cybersecurity awareness as a starting point on the cybersecurity journey of SMEs. When building our prototype, we based on existing escape room design approaches, which we elaborate a bit more and point to a bit more in our paper. So it builds on the 6 elements that you can see in this visualization. So we focused first on the participants, the SME owners and employees. As mentioned, it's a 40-minute playing time with additional briefing and debriefing and caters small group sizes. The objectives is that we want to raise cybersecurity awareness and also target the soft skills. As a theme, it all is around SME financial fraud investigation and locating an absconding rogue employee. So this is the scenario, and the puzzles are covering the main topics and the main threats which were investigated from some publications and some studies in the market. As equipment, we all base it around just regular office equipment, which is there in an SME environment, and we also provide additional gadgets such as mugs, office plants, a laptop which is preset, and also some accounts at websites, social media, and a fake bank account. For the evaluation, we gathered the feedback, did some reflection with the participants, and also evaluated the learning objectives. You can see here the game flow for this 40 minutes playing time. First, it starts out with a context setting, which is described in a letter, but also with a video. And then initial investigations in the room take place, physical work and puzzles. With this, you can, as player, then get the clues to connect to the online world, so get access to the mobile of this rogue employee and this laptop, and then get the overall clue for stopping the crime and ending with this online activity. When evaluating the game, we played it with 4 different test groups and asked for feedback on usability, applicability, completeness, and portability. This was done with just some qualitative feedback on the briefing and debriefing, with an observation of the game moderator throughout the game, but also based on a questionnaire we handed out. It resulted that the experience was regarded as engaging and enriching. The participants were able to relate to these topics, and it was also noted that the majority of critical cybersecurity topics were covered. We received positive feedbacks from all the experts, which we in addition also asked for their feedback, and where we showed them the game. Also, in addition, some participants from large corporations were included into our test group to also find out if this game could be applied to other cases as well. And which was very helpful is that we created an assessment model, an assessment grid, to review the group performance. And this is shown on the following slide. You can see that here this was used as just a simple grid to assess the performance on the different topics that were covered. And just to point out one example, it's very interesting to see that all the groups were failing on phishing, even though this is a topic which is very prominently in the media. So it still shows that it's very important to focus on this topic and to still raise awareness. Overall, we can state that the game is a very promising means for creating cybersecurity awareness. We want to embed it in a larger context and provide such kind of a training as a service for cybersecurity awareness. We want to further research on creating a compelling proposition for SMEs to participate in the cybersecurity journey, elaborate a bit more on the language and content specifics to improve the game. One limitation that we faced was the number of participants. So by purpose, we created a game with just a small group size. However, it turned out that it would be nice to play multiple game instances simultaneously in several office rooms, but this was due to the high interactivity also with the game proctor, with the game moderator limitation that we still face. And we want to research the applicability to other areas and enterprise types with this game. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm very pleased to receive some feedback, also just via email. You can find us online and find us on the conference website. Thank you very much.